What a day. What a day. A bombshell report claims that Donald Trump knowingly conducted illegal business in communist Cuba during Fidel Castro's reign in the 1990s. There is a Newsweek cover story today by Kurt Eichenwald, who has been a guest on this program, and it is called The Castro Connection. And it claims, and if this is true, it is devastating for Donald Trump, and I'll tell you more about why in a second. The story claims that Donald Trump spent at least $68,000 in 1998 for a business foray into Cuba, even though corporate activity in Cuba was completely illegal without government approval at the time. We've only recently, under President Obama, started to see a loosening of the Cuban embargo. And every indication, according to the article, is that with Donald Trump's knowledge, executives from Trump hotels and casino resorts funneled cash through an American consulting firm called Seven Arrows Investment and Development Corporation into Cuba. The report is damning. It claims that Seven Arrows consultants would travel to Cuba to look for potential business opportunities and then explain to Trump, here's how we're going to sort of get around our actual intentions here by linking these business efforts to completely bogus and made up charitable efforts. Now, for people who will hear this and they say, David, it sounds really, really far-fetched, remember, Donald Trump has a very long history of very weird stuff going on with charitable donations. He's got this Donald J. Trump Foundation, which, number one, he has not donated to since 2008, which, number two, has clearly been used as a way to buy political capital with favors and donors' money. Number three, he seems to have drastically overstated his donations to veterans and tried to make up for that during the campaign by on stage at a rally donating to a veterans organization, which in and of itself may have been illegal because he was using charitable donations for political gain on stage at a rally. So there's no shock, there's no surprise that part of this entire alleged Cuba incident also involves misusing supposed charitable donations. Now, as if this weren't already enough, the article by Kurt Eichenwald says that this all happened right before Donald Trump launched his first presidential bid seeking the nomination of the Reform Party. So potentially incriminating allegations here. This is after Donald Trump at the debate on Monday said he was smart for not paying federal taxes. This has the potential to single-handedly crush the Donald Trump campaign. This is what I like to call casually as light to medium treason. It has serious implications. Criminal penalties for violation of these sanctions range up to 10 years in prison, up to $1 million in corporate fines, up to $250,000 in individual fines. And of course, and more than likely, it would be this way if we ever were to see any charges anyway, civil penalties of up to $55,000 per violation. But all legal implications aside, this could destroy Trump's chances in Florida. Cuban Floridians, who generally speaking, Cubans are the most conservative of Hispanic groups. They are very anti-Castro. Finding out that Donald Trump was doing business with Fidel Castro could single-handedly turn Florida towards Hillary Clinton. And if you've looked at the maps, it's a pretty tough path to 270 electoral votes for Donald Trump without Florida.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this isn't going to stick on its own, but we know that he has a history of doing these things that may have a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And it's why he has to release his tax returns, so the public knows that simply using the excuse that, well, I'm being audited by the IRS, it's not going to cut it anymore. We're
going to actually dig more into that tomorrow. It's not like Donald Trump has never released his taxes. He's actually released his taxes for other in other situations, and we're going to get into that tomorrow. But as Pat is pointing out, seemingly continuing to say absolutely no taxes at all for this presidential race that I am involved here. So number one, if this sticks, and we will see, these are allegations, we are going to see what the response is. As of right now, there has been no response yet from the Trump campaign about the story. This will hurt Donald Trump with Cuban Americans in Florida. That is going to be a problem in Florida specifically, but it also would give Hillary Clinton huge ammunition for ads and whatever else can be used in future debates, etc. Cubans in Florida really, really, really hate Fidel Castro. And this is not going to be good for Donald Trump in what is a very, very, very important state. I would do a wellness check on Ted Cruz right now. I bet he is not thrilled after he sort of abstained from endorsing Donald Trump for so long. Finally says, yeah, I'm going to vote for the guy. And then now a few days later, it comes out that Trump may have been illegally doing business with Fidel Castro in Cuba. Absolutely amazing. If you turn this into a movie script, it would be rejected because it's just, who would buy this stuff? It's just not believable.